Well, y'all, I'm back here at the lake. I just been so stressed out over a bunch of bullcrap. I thought I'd come go fishing again today. Let's get away. Maybe I got the camera set at the wrong side. Maybe I need it over here. Nothing more that I like to do better than to get out and get on the lake, especially if I'm under stress. That way I just relax out here. So that's what I'm gonna do. Got my poles tangled up. Watching my camera so it doesn't turn off with me. Brought one straight down. Water's kind of rough, kind of choppy with the wind blowing a little bit, but maybe I'll catch something. We'll find out. And hopefully it won't rain. It was raining this morning for a while, but then it stopped. The sun tried to come out. We still got rain clouds up there though. We got a boat out here. Little one, but there's a boat, pontoon boat. People enjoying the lake. I don't see any ducks out or geese today. I guess it really come a downpour last night. So I guess all the ducks and geese are undercover today. Because it looks like we're going to get more rain. We've got some dark clouds up above. All around, so. My garden's loving all this rain though. Get it back over to this side. I think something was after this one when I first put it in the water. Maybe it's just not time for them yet. It's supposed to be about 85 degrees today, I think. on the other side. You can't see it from here. Wind's blowing in the opposite direction today. It's blowing this way. The other week when I was down here fishing, it was blowing down that way. They may not bite after that heavy rain we got last night, but I don't care. I just want to get out here. Sometimes that traffic on the highway back there sounds like boats. I could just take a nap right here. This chair, though, evidently just doesn't mean, unfortunately, does not lay down. It's as straight up and down as it can be. feet. Boy, that sun's getting hot. I see one little geese out there swimming around in the lake. Coming this way. Around. Hopefully we can see him when he gets over this way. He's pretty good ways out there yet. But he's coming. He's out there at that white float marker. Just past it now. I'm afraid I mess with the camera too much. It'll turn off with me. I don't want that to happen. He's swimming right along. The breeze feels good out here. There's a lot of nice homes along the lake. You think this was a thriving metropolis, but it's a little small town. We just got a lot of Big, nice homes built all over the lake. New subdivisions come in right on the lake. High dollar homes. A lot of them back over there. All around. Every spot they can build a house on the lake, they're building a house there. Prime real estate. Little duck's going right along, or geese trying to find his little fellow mates, I guess. Yeah, that sun's trying to come out, and man, it's intense. Coming through them clouds, it's hot. It's supposed to be only 85 as a high today. There's a whole bunch of them flying off over there. Probably can't see them from here, though. That little guy's still going down that way, though. It might be his feeding time. He's going to the restaurant to get fed. Because people always buy the food in those machines and throw it out to the geese and the fish. Can't tell what I'm showing you. Might be a little bit early yet. It raining so hard may have washed so much stuff in the water for the fish to eat that they're not interested in bait today. Or like I said, it may be a little bit too early. Because it is fairly early yet. Have to give them a little bit of time. wind is blowing a little bit to keep it cooled off somewhat. I think there's something after this one. Whew. It's like being at the beach with the wind blowing. Just checking to make sure my camera's still going. I can't see the screen up there. Can't hardly see what I'm showing you either. Whew. It's hot, y'all. Well, I know there's bait on both of them. I just checked them, so now I just gotta wait till something gets on there. Waiting game. Oh. I don't know what time it is. At least I remembered to bring my bait this time. I didn't have to run back to the house to get it. Somebody else out here. They probably might not come fishing though. It's like they just go and sit on a table. I could take a nap out here.
You having all the luck?
No, nothing yet.
Nothing yet.
Might have got too much rain last night.
Yeah.
I just wanted to come out here anyway, whether I caught anything or not.
I hear you.
Get out of the house.
Yeah. Get out of the house. Get some fresh air. It looks like they'd be biting.
Yeah, maybe a little bit early, I don't know. You never know about fish.
No, I know.
lot of people say when the water's choppy like that, people they won't bite. But I've caught fish when it was like this.
Oh,
before.
I have too, and I've caught them when it was raining.
Yeah. Just whenever they want to bite.
Yes, ma'am. I think they'll be coming up in the shallows after it gets dark.
Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. I got off early today, so I thought I'd come down and check it out. See if anybody catching anything.
Last week when I come out here, I was going to fish at this end, but the wind was blowing that way. So, you know, you couldn't keep your line down this way because it kept blowing that way.
Right.
So I fished off that end and I caught 3 big catfish.
Big ones?
Yeah.
About how big?
Well, the little one was about that long. I threw him back.
Right.
And the other ones were too bigger than that, so I kept them.
Right. Well, that's good. That's good eating.
Yeah. I went home and cleaned them and then put them in the refrigerator and cooked them the next evening.
There you go. But your husband was happy for that.
Oh, don't have a husband.
Don't have a husband.
No, I made a couple of meals out of those fish.
There you go.
I had all I could do to eat one, the first meal. Especially with the potatoes and coleslaw I fixed.
Right. Now that boy right there is crazy. All this,
a lot of them out here are crazy.
well, all this rain, they ought to know that the logs and stuff that are back up in the creeks are going to wash out here in the lake.
Oh, they don't think they're going to be there in front of them, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
When we first moved out here, I was married at the time, and my ex-husband, who is my ex now, he bought a bass boat, but we couldn't afford a lot of money,
Right.
and he bought a used one that some guy had listed in the newspaper. And when he got out there, he realized how he was selling it so cheap. It had a big hole in the hull. He ran into a log.
Right.
Put a hole in it. So it kind of made him scared of being out here after that.
Oh, heck.
Shoot, we bought it, patched up that hole with fiberglass and stuff. Fished every summer we were out here.
Right.
Until we got divorced and he took the boat.
Darn the luck.
We went every weekend out here on this lake. Didn't hurt it a bit.
No. Well, I've got one down there sitting down at Lake Whitney that I'm fixing to go pick up. I work down at Clifton. I work for a tree service down there. I've been with them for 11 years. And we lost my stepdad last year. So I've come to live up here with my mom. I'm single. And I said, hell, I'll just go up there and live with mom, you know. And that way I can keep an eye on her. She's 89.
Yeah.
So I figured I'd come up here. And I think you're getting a bite on that
I thought I saw that thing go down.
Yeah, it went down a while ago too. And
It might be a turtle.
That probably, yeah. But
If
then
it's
again,
a fish, he'll take it and go with it.
yeah. But anyway, I bought it's a little bitty bass boat. It's only like 14 foot here last year. And needs some work on it. Needs new cables as far as the battery cables. Need a new pull rope on it. And I parked it down at my sister's. And I've got to get it transferred over to my name and everything. And they're telling me I've got to go and get the darn thing weighed. Yeah, the trailer. I got to get the trailer and everything weighed in order to get tags for it. So I'm like, what the hell is that? You know? Never heard of that. So.
Yeah, you got to have tags and everything.
Well, I knew you had tags on the trailer and the boat too. But I didn't know you had to go get the trailer weighed. That's a new deal they got out. Because
Well, I guess they charge you according to weight.
right. Well, maybe what it is people have been going and stealing trailers and going and getting tags for them saying that was homemade when they're shop made.
Yeah.
You know, and bypassing all that rigmarole because they're saying that it was shop or homemade instead of shop made, and getting away with stealing somebody else's trailer. You know.
Mm.
So now they're like mine. I went down there with the VIN number and all that. And they said, no, you got to take it and have it weighed, and then you got to bring it in and let the DPS inspect it. And I'm like, well, all right, I guess that's what I got to do. You know. So that's what I'm fixing to do.
That's about like the rigmarole they put my son through. He bought this motorcycle from a guy back when he was like 16, 17, because he was already working and going to school.
Right.
And they never gave him the title to it.
Right.
And he tried to go in and get the license for it.
Right.
They said, well, you need the title and you need motorcycle driver's license before we can give you registration or anything for it. He said, well, how am I going to get motorcycle driver's license if I can't drive my motorcycle?
Right.
And come to find out, the guy that he bought it from, he still owed for that motorcycle. And
had a lien on it.
He bought it from some individual, never paid him. So he sold it to my son for like $850. No paperwork, and took off.
I'll be darned.
He was nowhere to be seen when my son tried to get in touch with him after that.
Oh, yeah. Well, I know where these people live. The husband died. What it was, the husband had bought it for a project to fix up and everything, and had started working on fixing it up, and he died. And I know the man and his wife. We've done a bunch of tree work for him in the past, throughout the years, you know. And so I told her, I asked her what she wanted for it, and she told me, and so I said, okay, I'll buy it. I said, can I pay it out? And she goes, oh, yeah. So I gave her $250 down, and then the next week I gave her another $150, and the next week I gave her another $100. So the boat was paid for, and she gave me the title and everything. Now I've got to get with her. We've got to go down to the bank and have them notarize. I've got to have her fill out 3 pieces of paper, one for the trailer, one for the motor, and one for the boat. And she's got titles for all. In fact, I've got the titles for all my office because she gave them to me. But now I've got to go down and have her fill out these papers. We got to go to the notary, sign them in front of the notary, and then I can go get everything changed over into my name, except for the boat trailer. I got to go down and have it weighed, and then have it inspected.
They've changed so much, but I guess they're doing it really for everybody's safety about theft and everything.
Right. Which I think, it's
sure
just
is a hassle to go through.
That's what I was going to say. It's just a darn hassle.
Yeah, he never got in touch with that guy. He just took off, never was seen again.
Right.
We never could do anything with the bike, so my son, after he moved off, got married and moved away, he told me, he just says, Mom, just get rid of the bike. If somebody wants it, just give it to them. Let them do whatever they want to with it. So I gave it to some Mexicans that lived in the neighborhood where I'm at. And I saw a bike after that parked on the side of the street out there. It was about a year or so later. And it looked like that bike, but I'll tell you what, it looked brand new.
Yeah, I bet
so
it was.
So they done something to it. I said they probably got the serial number off of it, put a new different serial number on it, and was able to get it licensed and everything. Right. You never know about them.
Oh, I know. Hey,
they'll find a way.
Yeah, they will.
It's like I got rid of my chest freezer one time because, it still worked, but it didn't freeze correctly.
Right.
Half of it would freeze, half of it wouldn't. And I called the Sears repair guy out. He said, well, lady, you need Freon. That's all that's wrong with it. But he said, I can't put Freon in it anymore. They won't let you. It's got a different
Freon in it now.
Yeah, they put something else in them, and they won't let the technicians deal with Freon anymore. So I got rid of the freezer. I gave it to some of a Mexican couple, and I know they probably got Freon from somewhere and put in there, and probably still using it.
Oh, yeah.
I said, well, they should be able to service the ones that's already sold and people have.
Right. They should be able to.
You know, I mean, it worked for all so many years. Why is all of a sudden they can't put that in there?
Right, right.
Crazy. Yeah, the first bite I got on the other side last week was a turtle, because I pulled it up to see if he got my bait, and the turtle come up to the top of the water. He's about that big around.
Right.
And I put it back in, and he never messed with it again.
Huh.
And I started getting another bite, and I thought it was the turtle, so I just ignored it.
Right.
All of a sudden, my rod was bending over, and it was, you know, the bottom down here was moving, and I said, well, he's about to take my rod and reel. I don't think that's the turtle. Pulled it in. It was the biggest catfish I caught that day.
All right.
I said, well, that made my day.
Mm-hmm.
I just took the notion I wanted to go catch me some catfish I wanted some fried catfish, fresh, right out of the river, you know.
Darn right.
Plate, so that made my day.
Nothing better than fresh catfish. So you
I usually come out here and fish for bass. But I bring my live bait with me.
Right.
Or I throw out a net along the side there and catch live bait, but there's been none out there. The water's been so low, there's just not been any minnows out there.
No.
Or little fish.
Shad or anything.
I started just fishing for catfish.
My rod and reels are in my van. I'm in my pickup today. I keep my rod and reels, my tackle box and everything in my van. Because I usually drive it, but I've got to get a couple of tires for the front of it. They're starting to bobble and weave on me, and I don't like that. Got a couple of orders down there in Waco. Let me know when they come in. So you live around here? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah, I live in back gated Comanche Cove over.
I'm not even 5 minutes from here.
Yeah.
Over on Contrary Creek.
I don't even know where that's at.
It's down 144. You know that first red light? Yeah, you turn there. That's Contrary Creek.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I leave my fishing poles right in, standing up in the bedroom. I have my little plastic bag with extra hooks, because I used to bring the whole tackle box out here, and I said that's too much to lug around, because I got a big old tackle box.
Right.
And it's full. And I said usually I don't use anything in it except if I lose a hook or cork or something like that.
Right.
So I said I'm just going to leave that home and bring extra hooks and stuff.
Right.
And I should be good without having to drag all that around.
Right.
I mean, I got every kind of artificial lure and worm you could think of, and I've tried a few of them, never got anything off of them, and I just said the heck with it. I'd rather fish with live bait or other bait.
Right.
I didn't grow up fishing with lures and artificial worms. Everything we fished with was real.
Right. Grasshoppers, crickets,
Right.
snails. Catfish love snails.
Really?
Yes, ma'am. Not the little screw type ones, but the big round white or brown colored ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like them. Take and smash them.
Escargot for fish.
Yeah. Take and smash them and then hook it through I call it the foot, the head.
I dated a guy one time years and years ago, and there was a restaurant out here. Don't remember the name of it. Key Largo, I think, was the name of it.
I used to work at Key Largo.
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
It
Back
was
in the
the only
80s.
restaurant in this town that had escargot, and he went in there and ordered it, and he said, "You need to try this. It's good." He
No.
said, "I always get it if they got it on the menu." I said, "I don't care what you call it or how much you pay for it. I'm not putting one of them things in my mouth." "Oh, they're real good. They're real chewy." I said, "I bet they are."
Yeah.
inner
Big
tube
old
is
ball of snot.
I said, "An inner tube is chewy too."
Yeah. No, I eat the lobster, but my wife back in the 80s. See, we used to run MD shuttle service. Used to go pick up people from the nuclear power plant
Yeah.
or the motels or wherever they were staying and take them to the airport and drop them off. And then when they came back in, we'd pick them up and bring them back to their motel or out to the nuclear power plant. That was back in 85, 86, 87, and 88. We got divorced in 88. And we shut the company down and everything. But we did pretty good. We had 4 kids, 2 girls and 2 boys. Well, she had 3 from previous marriage. When we got married, we got married in 80, 81, and got divorced in 88. My son was born in 84. He's 39 this year. In fact, I just talked to him night before last. He's up in Washington State. He works for Wyndham Motels and Apartments. He's he's the head maintenance of the one there, and he's the manager maintenance for that one in Seattle. And then he takes care of 17 other apartment complexes. He does maintenance on them throughout the state of Washington. And year before last, he came down here, and he had just got back he comes down for the family reunion. And he just got back up there, and a week later they sent him to Alabama to do some work on one of them down there in Alabama. And when they got back, they gave him a $3,500 bonus.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, wow. Well, this year he came down, and he was home for about a week. They sent him to Alaska, and they gave him $5,000 bonus when he got back. I'm like, you little turd, you're making all the money.
You should ask him, "Hey, you want to send me somewhere else?"
Yep. His boss had his business cards made up, and they put on there, Michael Dutchman, maintenance superstar. I thought that was pretty cool. Got a big old motor in that thing.
He started to say his motor was bigger than the boat.
Yeah.
I first came out here, I was afraid I was going to get rained out, but the sun started coming out.
Uh-huh.
And every once in a while, that sun gets hot.
There's his big car. Superstar. Wyndham Park. Yeah, he's a character, I tell you. But when he was growing up, see, I used to do all that here in Granbury. I used to build houses, and I've worked for several contractors down here. And
If they picking up that boat or not. Yeah.
he'd always want to go with me, so I take him with me, and he learned. You know, he sat and watched and learned. And it helped a lot, you know.
Boy, you can smell the gas from that boat. Woo. Take your breath.
Yeah. He graduated over in Dublin. We lived over in Dublin for a while. And we built Landon Norcutt, Jason Johnson, and Lorinda Ray. She was the head realtor over there in Stephenville. We built those 3 people houses. Both of the Landon Norcutt and Jason Johnson, they were top lawyers there. 2 top lawyers in Stephenville. We built their houses. And Lorenda Ray, we built her house. And yeah. We got carpenter and plumbing, electrical, and roofing. All of it. He got it all down.
We used to go out on the lake just about every other weekend with my son because he lived over in Joshua at the time.
Uh-huh.
But he'd bring his boat over, and
Right.
he had a big boat. I guess it would hold 12, 15 people. Ski boat.
Right.
And we went out on this lake every week, but he says, Mom, I wouldn't go down this lake the way I do if I didn't have the sonar.
Yeah.
Tells you where the path is you need to be away from the treetops.
Right.
Because he said there's treetops down in this lake.
Yes, there are.
And some of these people, they don't realize that.
No.
Especially those dudes that
And
are
I'm
flying
talking
through there.
And I'm talking stumps.
Like that dude hit with the boat to put a hole through the hull of it. I bet you he came to an abrupt stop.
Yeah, that or he went airborne. Yep.
It was funny because he stripped it. He took the seats out of it, everything. But it would still work. You know, you could still sit there and steer it with the steering wheel and everything.
Right.
And we put lawn chairs in it. People would come up to the boat dock when we come in and they'd say, they must have known the boat because aren't you afraid to go out in that boat? No. Don't leave.
That's like mine. I had one time that I instead of going and buying the pedestal and all that and the new seat, I had lawn chairs. So I'm like, okay, now how can I make them where they won't move? Well, they got a deal that the leg will push down in and clamp.
Yeah.
So it wasn't going anywhere. So I mounted them with them.
Well, ours wasn't even clamped down.
And then I could grab them and just pull them up and go and set up on the bank. You know, people look at me like, now that's an idea.
Yeah, this was a 15-foot bass boat. You know, the deep hull.
Right.
I mean, it was a nice boat. It was just an older boat, and he'd parked it because he put a hole in it with a tree or a log. He didn't want to come back out in the lake after that. Made a believer out of it.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that guy that flies through here, he must have had a sonar too. He probably did like my son did, and he picked out a path, and he said unless there's floating logs, he's good because he knew.
Right. Well, see, they've got those buoys.
Yeah.
And see the buoys out there?
Right, that gives you the path to go, but it's not going to keep you from flying onto a log floating.
Exactly, if it's floating. Right. So, and like I said, I just came from Clifton, and I come across the Bosque River.
Yeah.
And I mean, well, me and my boss, I was telling him, because I drove down this morning, and I was telling him, hey, the river is up because Meridian every year they have a barbecue cook-off and a championship deal, you know. And I said the water, they're not having the barbecue deal this weekend. It was this weekend, coming weekend. I'm like, they're not having it this weekend. He goes, why? I said, there's water that deep standing out there in that field. Oh, bull crap. I'm like, hey, I swear the river is up and over the bank and out in that field. And the field's like this, you know. I said, and the water's at least that deep sitting out there on that field. And I said, the river is running wide open. He goes, oh, no. I said, Kyle, I promise you, the water wasn't a foot underneath the bridge when I came across it. Oh, Bo, we didn't have that much rain. I said, Granbury rained all night last night, dude.
Yeah, I was going to say, when I was out here last week, that water was not up that high. It was out quite a ways.
Oh, yeah, it was way on down here. But like I told him, I said, hey, that river was running wide open. He goes, bull. Well, he's the next cop, and he's like 4 years retiring, so he's a reserve for the next 4 years. And he got on the phone and called the dispatch up there. He goes, How bad is the water? And the dispatcher, she told him, she goes, well, Kyle, I'm gonna tell you right now, we're in the process of a river rescue right now.
Oh wow.
Over by the city park. Kyle goes, what?
Oh.
He goes, yeah. She said, from the bank, the water's all the way up almost to the bank on 144. On Highway 6. He goes, no way. She goes, yes, Kyle, it is.
Good.
And I told him, I says, they have the road blocked. They got barricades right there behind the bank when I came through. So,
Wow.
the water is up.
Well, I know
So
it started raining pretty hard yesterday evening late,
Right.
and it rained most of the night last night, pretty hard.
So I told him, well, let's go down to the park and look. So we drove down to the park.
Yeah.
And drove down there where they had the water rescue, and sure enough, about that much of the top of the car is out of the water. The rest is underwater on the road that goes up and around to the bank. And then all that water is, and then we've seen trees like this.
And that's where they had to rescue somebody out of that car?
Yeah.
Ooh.
And then you could see there was trees as big as these trees just floating right down the middle. I mean, and they were moving from here to here about like that.
Wow.
That quick they were moving. And I told him, I said, see, that water is running hard. He said, man, it'd be good to have a jet ski. I'm like, you crazy? Ain't no way I'd get out there in that crap.
Yeah, go run ahead with your jet ski and run up on some of them trees.
Yeah. Well, he's the same age as my son. In fact,
my airborne.
Yeah, my son is 39. He's born July the 1st. My boss was born July the 17th, I believe. My son's like 16 days older than him. They're the same age. And he gives me hell all the time. I'm like, Mom made some...
Yeah, I didn't know anything about the rescue last night.
Oh, it's this morning?
Or this morning.
Yes, ma'am.
Because I didn't have the news on.
Right. Well, that's just local down there at Clifton. So it'll probably be on the news tonight.
And I usually get those notices of accidents or stuff that's happening on my phone.
Oh, yeah?
I didn't notice getting any messages this morning.
Right.
That was a lot of water.
A lot of water.
But yeah, like I told you, when I got down here and saw how the water had got up, it rained a heck of a lot last night.
Oh, yeah. I bet we got at least 4, maybe 5 inches, at least.
Because that water line was at least 2 or 3 feet back this way.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It's back out here where that log is.
Yeah. Not the fish's dinner time yet.
Not yet. It'll be later this evening. They'll be out biting.
A lot of times, though, after a big rain, it washes so much stuff in the water that they feed on that they don't usually want to bite.
Right. That's true, too.
So they may already have their stomach full. But like I said, I just wanted to get out anyway, so I don't care if they bite or not.
Yeah. Get the fresh air, enjoy a little bit of sun.
Watch the few boats that go by today.
Yeah.
Whew. Some guys told me one time that they wait till night and they go fishing right down on the point on this side of the water, from the restaurant.
Right.
And they catch a lot of fish, but they didn't say what kind of fish. It might be the carp.
Probably carp, yeah. But then again, it could be catfish up in there too.
Could be too.
Yeah.
But carp are good. There's a lady where I live, I told her, I said, the first fish I ever caught when we moved to Texas was a great big old carp. She said, well, what did you do with him? I said, my husband got him off the hook and threw him back in. He said, we don't want no trash fish. She said, oh no, don't you ever throw another carp away.
Right.
She was canning them that day in her kitchen. She
Yes.
showed me.
Yeah.
She had her pressure pot, great big one, on the stove, and she had jars of fish lined up on her counter that she'd already canned.
Canned up, right? Yeah. Yeah. Well,
She said,
Dad.
I'll take every one you get. Don't ever throw them away. I
Right.
fix fish cakes and all kind of stuff with them.
Right. Dad used to pressure cook them in the pressure cooker.
That's what she had. It's one of those pressure canners.
But I never really cared for carp. Now, gar is white meat, and they eat, they're scavenger like a carp, but they prefer live bait too, like little perch and shad, stuff like that. But they will, and the meat is white, and it's good.
Well, from the looks of what she had in the jar, the color of the meat, it reminded me of the shad that they catch back home in North Carolina. They're great big fish that they catch.
Grunions.
Huh?
Grunions or shad? The big shad?
Shad, yeah.
Uh-huh.
There was only one time of the year that they would catch them, but they'd go out in the boats in the middle of the river with great big bow nets.
Yeah.
And dip those nets down.
Grunions.
And come up with those
In Washington, they call them grunions. Grunion run.
I've never heard them called anything but shad.
And
their meat's dark.
Yeah,
they're oily kind of, but it's good.
My aunt, they used to go get them, and they was like big old minnows or sardines, and she'd can them in mason jars.
Well, these are big shad. They weren't no little bitty baby sardines. We catch them and have a big fish fry right on the riverbank with them.
I'll be darned.
And they were strong fish,
right?
With the darker meat, but they were good, I thought.
Right. I'll be darned.
So I said, if they're anything like the shad, I'd like the carp too. So.
Yeah.
But I've not caught another one since then. I told her, I said, well, the next carp I catch, I'm going to see if I can clean that sucker and cook some meat.
Right.
She said, they're kind of messy to clean though.
Right.
She said a lot of people don't like that fact that they are messy.
Well, I'd probably do them like a catfish. I'd skin them. I wouldn't scale them. I'd just skin them.
That's what I did with those two that I kept last week. I skinned them. I mean, they were big fish. I could have filleted them.
Right.
But I said, well, I'd lose even more meat though if I did that. So I just skinned them.
Right.
Cut their heads and tails and everything off and fried them right up.
Heck yeah.
I said, I know where the bones are.
Yeah.
People are spoiled today. If it's not a fillet with no bones, they can't eat it.
I know it. Isn't that something?
They're scared of the bones.
Yeah.
They didn't grow eating them with bones in them. So
all you gotta do is have a piece of bread there. You get a bone, get a piece of that bread, and chew it and swallow it.
Well, if you grew up catching fish and cleaning them and eating them fried with the bones,
pick them with your tongue.
You know where the bones are when you you can pull that fish apart.
Right, exactly.
Pull the fins off and the bones on the side come off.
Right.
Eat one side of the fish and there's the rib.
Backbone, yeah.
Pull that thing up and you got the whole center bone out.
Right.
I mean, it's not rocket science.
No, it isn't.
But it is to these new people, the young people today. They don't know anything like that.
No, these kids and these people nowadays.
It's got to be chicken nuggets or.
Oh yeah, because they're too busy doing this,
Yeah. I read something this morning on the internet where it said kids today need to figure out a way they can make money on their cell phones because they're on them 24/7.
Well, a lot of them have. They have figured it out.
Yeah, and that's what I'm doing. So they need to figure out a way to make money with their cell phones because as much time as they're on them, they could make a living that way.
Right. Well, I've got several apps on mine, but mine are coloring. The color, little different pictures and stuff. Yeah. I'm too busy at work. When I get off work, I go home, I sit and watch the news, or listen to the news, and a lot of times I haven't in probably 2 weeks, I haven't pulled up any of my apps to paint them or anything or color them or anything, but I've been tired. Plus, I just got over the flu, so last week I had the flu last week real bad. The doctor found out it was flu, it wasn't COVID or anything. I'm like, phew. I've had my shots and all that, and my booster and everything, so, but even still.
Well, I kept hearing, oh, you need to go in and get your next COVID shot. There's more COVID shots you got to get.
Right.
I said, well, I've already had like 4 of them. I think I've had enough.
Right.
So when I went in to get my flu shot this year, I asked that technician, I said, and I showed her my card where they give you, they list the COVID shots.
Right.
And I said, look at this. I said, tell me, do I need to get another COVID shot?
Right.
And she says, well, it's like this. There's another COVID shot out there, but you don't need to get it. She said, what you've already got, you're completely covered 100%.
Right.
And it's just optional. If you want to go get the other one, you can. If you don't, you don't have to have it. You're already covered.
Right.
I said, well, if I don't have to have it, I'm not going to get it.
Right.
I said, if she thinks I'm completely covered 100%, then there's no point in it.
Right.
Last week I was just ignoring my line, and I had one reel that was all tangled up, so I was sitting here messing with that, getting it all untangled, getting part of the line off of it, and I could hear my other rod and reel. It was just clanking on the rail. I said, yeah, I got a fish, looks like. But I said, I can't get to it now. I can't turn this loose. I'd have that darn fish line go everywhere. So that thing was just tugging away at my rod and reel, and here I am winding fish line. But I got him.
There you go. That's the main.
He was hooked good enough, it didn't matter where he swam to. He was not going nowhere.
He wasn't going anywhere. Luckily, he didn't go around one of these poles and wrap you up.
Right. And when I caught the other one, it did pretty much the same thing. It was bending my rod double. And there was a lady out, her and her husband was out here on the pier talking to me. She said, that fish is going to get away. I said, nah, he's not going nowhere. I finally got up there and got hold of the rod and started reeling him in. I think that's when I caught the littlest one. I said, well, he's a little one, and I said, he's not as big as the other ones. She said, oh, did you catch other fish already? I said, yes, ma'am. There's 2 bigger ones right there in the bucket.
Yeah.
I felt sorry for the smaller one, and I said, well, I could keep you and eat you, but I'm going to throw you back and let you grow a little bit more.
Yeah. Get more bites out of you next week.
Yeah,
next
I'll catch
year.
you more. I'll catch you back later.
Yeah.
At a later date.
Yeah.
I caught one big one off of this pier one night a couple of years ago.
Oh, yeah?
And oh my God, that made 4 or 5 meals for me off of that one fish. He was so big. And I caught one of the biggest bass I've ever caught off this pier, but he got off my line. Or he actually didn't get off my line. I didn't have a whole lot of line on my reel.
Right.
And I didn't realize it wasn't fastened real good to the reel. And I got him up here almost to the, I got him out of the water, you could see him, and all of a sudden the line started going through. And I could see the tail of the line go through.
Oh no.
And out the end, and he took off.
Oh my world.
I said, you'll see now that I keep plenty of line on my reel down there. And it's fastened. He ain't going nowhere unless he breaks it.
Right.
I felt like an idiot when I saw that. I just literally watched the line go right off the end of the pole.
You're like, oh my world.
And I couldn't catch it.
Yeah.
So I don't know where he went, but he's probably still swimming around with a line and a hook and everything. He probably never got it out of his mouth or wherever he had it.
Oh, I'm sure somebody's caught him by now.
Probably, or he got hung up on something with the line and couldn't go nowhere. Somebody asked me one time, said, well, what are you going to do if you catch a snake? I said, I'm going to cut the line and he can have it all. I'll keep my rod and reel and I'll just cut the line and watch him go off.
Let him go on.
And I did catch one out here. One time I was sitting on the sidewalk over there, and there was a married couple sitting beside me. They had just got there, basically. Caught that snake and I reeled him in, and I said, well, I don't know what I'm going to do with him. I said, and this guy that was sitting there, he got up and he come walking over and he grabbed the line and he pulled the snake up and put his foot down on him with his boot and took his knife and basically cut his head off and got that off the line.
Right.
And then his kids took the snake and were playing with him.
Right.
I said, of all the things to play with.
Right.
I said, Daddy, can we have him? They threw him up on the bank and they were up there messing around with him. He said, well, now, what would you have done if I hadn't have been here? I said, I cut my line and watched him swim off. I said, I wasn't going to mess with no snake.
That's when you get a pair of needle nose pliers.
Well, I usually have pliers and a pair of scissors with me.
Snip.
So, yeah, I'd have just snipped the line going off the pole and just let him go. He could have it all. I did a turtle like that one time because I'm not messing with no snapping turtle.
No, they'll hurt you. They'll hurt you. Yeah, them little turtles, they'll bite.
I caught a darn old turtle. He was so big I barely could get him up on the bank over where I live, and I finally got him up there and I said, oh no, I don't think so. I cut the line and let him go.
Yeah, you can have it all.
He could have the hook.
Just give me my weight.
Yeah, I kept my hook, my cork, and other stuff. I just cut it down below that.
Yeah.
As close as I dared get to him. Some of them said, well, why didn't you keep him to make good turtle soup? I said, I don't want turtle soup. I wouldn't clean that soup for him.
My aunt was fishing, there's my dad, me, or my dad and my stepmom, me, my wife, and my son, my uncle and his wife, my aunt, and a friend of the family's, all down on Richland and Chambers Lake. And they caught a big old soft-shell turtle about that long, or about that big around. And there was a tree hanging there, so they just took they caught him on a trot line. So anyway, they took the hook and wrapped it around a branch and then hooked it back to the line and just let him hang there. And every now and then, Dad would walk over there and cut his throat. Cut his head off, right? So he could clean him. Well, he go to cut him. That turtle. I mean, the turtle's down here on the ground, and the head's up here like this. I mean, literally, that neck was that long and that big around on that turtle.
Mm.
He'd pull back up to in his head, just his nose sticking out. And Dad said, "Well, how am I supposed to do this?" I said, "Well, let him stretch his head out again. I'll show you."
Just cut his head off.
Well, I told him, I said, "Just let him do his thing, and I'll show you." So probably about 20 minutes later, Dad goes, "He's ready." I said, "All right." I walked over to my truck, got my 410, walked over and pow! I said, "There you go." He goes, "Boy, we're in a park. You ain't supposed to shoot a gun in here." I'm like, "Dad, who shot a gun?" "You shoot a gun?" "I didn't shoot no gun." "I don't know what you're talking about."
Well, my dad caught a great big turtle like that at the river back home.
Uh-huh.
And he kept it. He hung it up like you said.
Yeah.
And he made some big turtle soup out
Oh
of it,
yeah.
big pot
Well,
turtle.
my aunt, we cleaned
I
it.
didn't eat any of it.
Yeah, we cleaned it and everything, and cut it up in pieces. And she had a big old silver bowl, stainless steel bowl. She said, "Put it all in there," and she washed it real good. And then she had this other bowl that she put it in, and she dumped buttermilk over top of it, and let it soak for about probably an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. Then she took it and picked it out and had cornmeal and flour mixed.
Fried turtle.
And she fried that turtle up, and it was good. And like they say, there's 7 different types of meat on the turtle.
I don't remember if he fried any of it or not. He may have.
Right. And it was good. Oh gosh, it was good. But the technique is to slow cook it. You don't fast fry it, you slow fry it. That's what my aunt said. You fast fry it, it's going to be tough. You slow fry it, it's tender like chicken. And you had chicken, pork, beef, and there was a bunch of different flavors of meat in there, and it was all good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I was a kid, so I can't remember if I ate any of that or not. I probably did.
I bet you did.
Because we always had fish fries on that river when we'd go out there like that,
Yeah.
and that was one of the times when he caught that turtle.
You didn't even know what you was eating.
I probably knew and laughed about it. I know my brothers used to go frog gigging,
Oh yeah.
and I never would eat any frog legs when they bring them home and fry them. And there was a couple of what looked like little bitty chicken legs left on the stove one afternoon when I got home from school. And I walked in the kitchen because I was hungry. And my brother said, "There's some chicken legs left on the stove over there. They're small because they came from small bantam roosters, but they're good." We ate some. I went over there and grabbed one, started eating it. My brother started giggling. He said, "Sis," I said, "What? You know what you just ate?" I said, "No, chicken." "No, you just ate a frog leg." He said, I told him, I said, "Well, I thought there was something different about it." And it really wasn't that bad. It did kind of taste like chicken.
Right. It's all, and a lot of people, they say, "Well, I'm not going to eat that," or "I'm not going to eat that." But it's all in their head. Except grits. I will not eat
Now,
grits.
see, I love grits.
Oh, I can smell them cooking and I get sick to my stomach.
Oh, wow.
I really do. Because I was forced to eat them when I was growing up, young. I would have to sit there, and we could only put salt and pepper and butter. We couldn't put sugar in them.
I never put sugar in mine, and if I'm hungry and want some grits, that's the way I eat them. Put butter in them, salt, pepper, just eat them like that.
Oh, no.
Other times I like to fry bacon and scrambled eggs and mix it all together.
Right. No. I don't even eat cream of wheat because the texture of it just reminds me of the grits.
Yeah.
And I was forced to sit there. And it didn't matter if it was lunchtime. I wasn't getting lunch until them grits were gone.
Oh, no.
Oh man, there's nothing worse than cold grits.
I used to be like that over boiled peanuts because they're so popular back home.
I don't like boiled peanuts. I like
Oh, my God,
roasted, but I
could
don't.
walk in the house and smell those peanuts boiling
Uh-huh.
and make me nauseated.
Right, right.
And today I love them.
Oh yeah, isn't that something? Now I can smell grits cooking, and I know I've got to go. I'm back out the door. I got to go. I tell you.
It was just something about boiled peanuts, that smell that I couldn't handle.
Right.
It's like, good Lord, get me away from here.
Yeah. A lot of people like them. I don't. Ugh. I don't like them. Mom don't like them either. And I'm thankful for that. We've got a couple of boxes of them in the house, but what she uses them for is the fire ants. She'll
Yeah.
sprinkle them around the fire ants. It kills the fire ants.
Ground cornmeal and grits both
Yeah.
are good because
Yeah.
they'll eat it and it swells up in them.
Yeah.
Kills them.
Yeah.
I'm impatient. I don't like to wait that long. I'd rather spray them and get rid
Get
of
rid
them
of
right
them.
then.
Right now. I know one thing, them sun guns will light you up. And it's not just one, it's like 50 on each leg that, you don't feel them crawling on you.
You feel them when they bite.
Yeah, they all hit you at the same time,
And then
too.
it's too late.
Yeah. Oh.
They've already done the deed once you feel it.
Right. Well, see, we do a lot of tree cutting and stuff, and, and a lot of times they're underneath the trees, and you don't know it, and you're standing there watching, and when the branch hits the ground, you grabbing it and running with it. Well, by that time, they've already covered you. And then when you get up there to the trailer and you're throwing it in the trailer, they start biting the hell out of you, and you're like, oh my God. Run around, drop your drawers, and start picking them out of your clothes. Oh, Lord. We was at one place, and this woman, literally, one of the other guys, he got them so bad, they were inside of his pants leg, and she turned his pants. He dropped his drawers and ran to the truck, and he's like, she goes, son, you're about the same age as my son, and I've seen everything he's got and I will ever have. There's no need in getting embarrassed.
Right, women don't care about that. I know I would working in my garden and walking around doing stuff, and you never know the ants are on you till you feel them bite, and then it's too late.
Then it's too
and
late.
I'd end up with ant bites all over my feet, ankles.
Yeah.
So I bought me a pair of boots, rubber boots. I wear my boots out there now. I don't care if it's raining or not. I've got my boots on if I'm out working in the yard.
Right.
Just walking around messing with the plants, I'm wearing my boots.
Right. Get some off, spray them with off, and they won't crawl on them.
Because in North Carolina, where I'm from, you wouldn't have fire ants like that.
No.
Once in a while, you'd see a little old tiny black ant.
Uh-huh.
But we'd run around the yard all the time barefoot, and we never got ant bit.
Nope.
Didn't have them.
Nope.
Come out here, my God, I said, you just walk in the yard and they'll eat you alive.
Right. I'll tell you what's bad. Washington State, they got mounds this tall.
Oh my
and
God.
big and round. And they got like sticks, tree branches sticking out. And you can grab it and wiggle it, but you better be getting away from them because they come from everywhere. And I'm talking millions of them.
Wow.
They just the mound, it'll be kind of white and brown from the leaves and stuff. You shake it like that, and you get back, and within a matter of seconds, it's total black from the ants crawling all over it. I'm like, oh, woo-wee. Yeah, they're bad up there, real bad. I feel sorry for the soldiers up there because they got to go play around out there in the fields and in the woods, and that's where they're at. And
well, it's so rocky where I live that's where they just love to be.
uh-huh.
And I can walk around my yard and I might be standing on a rock,
They'll be
look
underneath.
down, and all of a sudden there's a million of them coming out of the hole,
Yep.
And before I put my foot there, you couldn't even tell there was ants there.
Right, exactly.
So I said, I don't care what people say if they see me walking around my yard 105 degrees outside and I'm
With my
wearing my
boots.
rain boots in a drought. That's fire ant protection.
Darn right.
Pair of shorts. degrees
I can
in a
just,
drought
I
and
can
you're
just, I can
wearing
just
rain
see you.
boots.
I can just see you out there in a pair of boots with your shorts on. Better safe than sorry, though.
Well, it never failed. I don't care if I got only bit once or twice. Every time I go in the yard, messing around my garden, I'd get ant bit on my feet. And
Yep.
I said, it's not happening no more.
Maybe if you can help it. Yeah.
I said, they're going to have to take the time to climb up my boot and then get on my leg or do something.
Mm-hmm. Well, they leave this little pus pocket look like a pimple. You know?
And itch like crazy.
Oh, yeah. Burn and itch. When they bite you, it burns. And then the next day, you got the little pimple and it itches and itches and itches. And then you got to reach. You reach out and not even thinking, reaching, scratch it, and then it got all that yuck all over you from it.
One thing I found was real good for ant bites, any type
Ammonia.
of insect bite.
Ammonia.
Well, in the summertime, if you got a swimming pool close to you,
Chlorine.
just go get in the pool.
The
yeah,
chlorine.
that chlorine. You can go in there and just walk around for 30 minutes, go home, and by the next day, those ant bites are gone.
Gone, yeah.
That chlorine will just wipe them
Yep,
out.
yep. And it stops the itch, and the
Yeah.
burn. You're right. You're absolutely right. Well, we've got a pool up there at Comanche Cove. I haven't been in it this year.
A lot of the pools now started putting that salt in them instead of the chlorine.
Mm-hmm. And that's good too.
I don't know how the salt works.
It works just as good.
Does it?
Yes, ma'am. Yep. Well, see, what it was is the chemicals cost so much. Like we got one of those aerobic systems, water, for the toilet and all that, and just those little tablets, just a little old 3-pound bucket of them is like right at $70.
Yeah.
And I think there's like 15 tablets in there. You know, the little 3-inch tablet. I'm like, I ain't paying that.
Well, they filled ours up with dirt because it got so expensive.
Yeah.
They wanted, the last summer they were talking about opening the pool.
Uh-huh.
They wanted $12,000 just to fix the leaks.
Yeah.
And then they said it would cost even more the next season because you're never supposed to drain those big pools.
Right.
And the company that put the pool in, they said a big pool like that on bedrock where it's sitting, you don't ever drain it. He said if you've got to do repairs, you drain it, get those repairs done, and you get it filled back up as fast as you can.
Right.
Because it'll cause it to crack.
Yep.
Well, they got it in their heads it would be cheaper to drain the pool every winter so they didn't have to keep chemicals in it.
Right.
And then fill it back up in the summertime.
And all it did
I
was
tried
crack.
to tell some of them because they, over the years, new people took over the board of association. And,
right. HOA.
Yeah, and the people that were running the pool, and so they didn't know what the company told them when they first put the pool in there. I did, and I told them that's the worst thing you can do with this big concrete pool is drain it.
Right.
It's going to crack. You're going to lose the pool.
Right.
They wouldn't listen. And the woman that had working in the office at that time, you know what she said? Oh, it's one of those molded pools. It's not going to hurt it. I said, lady, that's not a molded pool. That's a concrete pool.
Yeah.
Well, they found out.
So,
She finally moved off because she had to.
yeah.
She was ripping the association off. She had money put in her own account from our money,
No, Lord.
and she did go to jail.
Yeah. Well, that's like this one up there that works up there. She gets $52,000 a year salary.
Whew.
I'm like, I go out there and bust my butt all day, every day. She comes in the office from 9 o'clock to 3:30, and I'm from daylight till dark every day. And I only brought home, well, last year, I only worked, not the whole year, I only worked like 6 months, 7 months. But I only brought in, I think it was $27,000. But I only make I make $125 a day is what I make. But I don't work that hard anymore either. Plus, I get Social Security too. So.
Well, they claim that the people working in our office didn't make that much.
Yeah.
I said, well, maybe that's why they were stealing from the account.
Uh-huh.
It was funny because people would pay money in for their property dues and stuff.
Right.
But it never made it to the money. Never made it to the bank. It was checked off in the books that it was paid.
Right.
But the money never got into the bank account.
Right. Right. Yep.
So it don't take rocket science to figure out where
somebody's
that money went.
stealing.
We didn't have any break-ins in the office for people to steal.
No.
Nobody had access to the money except them or one of the board members.
That's right. They tried to hire me last year to do road maintenance. I told them, I said, well, I make $125 a day on the job I'm working now. I said, I know y'all, I don't expect y'all to pay that, but I will help y'all for $15 an hour. You know, I'll come and work for $15 an hour, but I'm not going to come out there and do it for free, you know. And apparently they figured I'd,
Got that bait.
yeah, apparently they figured that I should come up there and work for, you know, $7 or $8, $10 an hour. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm too old for that crap.
Well, I didn't know for a long time that she went to jail because they kept it hush-hush.
Yeah.
After that. But then I found out a year or so later, oh, yeah, she did go to jail for that. She did jail time. Well, how long that's going to stay on there, but...
For a minute, at least a minute.
Maybe left long enough to catch something.
Yeah.
It's like half of it's fell off.
Well.
One side of it's fallen. Yeah, it's already about gone off already. I wonder what that siren is for.
I think that's that nuclear or tornado or whatever.
They don't usually sound that off unless it's like 12 o'clock or something.
Right.
Are we being invaded?
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it one bit. Well, you got to stop and think. China, Korea, Russia, Iran, Syria, they all want a piece of us.
May not be deep enough. If they want it bad enough, they'll come up.
They'll come up and get it. They'll smell it. Getting warmer. Well, I'll let you go. Let you get concentrating on your fishing.
Maybe I'll catch one here in a minute.
Yeah. My name's Lee, by the way.
Linda.
Linda? Nice to meet you, Linda.
Nice to meet you, Lee.
I'll probably see you out here again.
Yeah?
You video and everything?
Yeah. For YouTube.
There you go.
I know my subscribers are going to love to hear your stories you were telling.
Oh, yeah? That's good. That's good.
I enjoyed hearing them anyway.
Well, thank you. That's just a few of them. That isn't all of them. I've got a lot more. I'm 67 years old, and something big just jumped out there.
I know. I started seeing them jump, or not jump. They would, you know, how
Swirl
they
the
come to
water.
the top of the water and swirl,
Uh-huh.
and you see their tail.
Yeah.
And you can tell by the swirl they make that it's a pretty good sized fish.
Yeah.
And I was seeing it over that way,
Uh-huh.
and it kept getting closer, and pretty soon they started biting my hook.
There you go. Yeah. Well, you have a good evening.
Oh, you too.
All right.
I think maybe the wind's calmed down some, and maybe it's changed a little bit to where it's blowing back the other way. I don't know how long I've been going here, or if it's still going. Yeah. Don't want my battery to die or the thing to get too hot on me. After this one, or something, I don't know. Quite a few boaters out here for it to be a Thursday. that's a kind of a big boat. Big old motor. Well, I don't know if we're going to get any more rain or not. Looks like the rain clouds are trying to move on out. But, like he was saying, we got enough rain last night. I didn't know it flooded here in Granbury, though, on the other side of town. Listen to the birds. Must be gonna put his boat in one of those slips. They got boat slips up there they can rent to leave their boats in overnight. It looks like he's going over to the other side. No, it looks like they're gonna put it up on a trailer. I think I'm gonna move everything down here to the other end. See if we get any bites down at this other end where I caught those other fish that last week. Shade somewhere. I'm not going to be out here much longer. Because that heavy rain we got last night, like I said, it probably put enough food in the water from the trees and everywhere else that fish are not hungry. Going up my back feels good. fish are not hungry this evening. Well, it don't look like they're gonna bite today. Nothing even taking the bait today. Except for that first time I put the rod out. Took the bait off that one hook. I don't think they're going to bite today. But something got my bait off of this one. We bait it again and throw it back out there. Maybe there's something out here getting hungry. Try it for a few more minutes, and if I don't get a bite, I'm leaving. Oh. Try it for a few more minutes. There needs to be some slack in this one a little bit. Just a little bit. I can't believe I did that. You think I'd take the tags off my chair. I never think to take tags off of it. Well, I don't want this video to be so long, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. I'm going to put my stuff in the car, and I'm going to head to the house. Y'all please like, share, subscribe to my videos, and maybe we'll catch some more fish next time. Bye.